Unfortunately, my squire was not home. I got word that she is out in Arts and Sciences Tent 4, far, far away across the battlefield the other direction. So this episode of Survivor Man, rather than being over, appears to be continued as we go back from the B block at the far end by oversized camping here. And you can see over here is the oversized camping area, and we have a little bit of camping down there. I think I've seen these people before, and then there's another campsite here, and as we turn around you can see all the way back. We're going to have to go all the way back across the B blocks and then back across the battlefield before we can finish our... All right, we've made it out of the B block and across back to the top of the battlefield. As you can see, this is where we came into the B block when I thought I'd find my squire up there, but she wasn't there, so we're working our way back, and where we are now, we're sort of at the top edge of that battlefield, and then up on the side here you can see Mount Iceland rising up, and there's a long high slope. If we wanted to, we could get up there and have a high vantage point in order to see where we're going to take our trip on our trek across the Serengeti. From here you can kind of see the Serengeti. It's over there. You can see the fort, and just beyond that there's the vast Serengeti. Serengeti, as a lot of people think, is some sort of flat arid plain, but it's really not. It's actually a wide rolling grassland, and there's a lot of different wildlife on that grassland, so we'll see what we can do on our way across there to survive our trip across the Serengeti. But first we've got to map out a route, so let's take a little high ground and get up to the top of Mount Iceland here so we can get a good... Well, we're about halfway up Mount Iceland now, and had to stop for a minute and catch a little bit of breather, get a little energy back. There's not a lot of livestock or anything to eat up here. There's just some grasses and things, and you can see the grass here. And as far as wildlife, well, there's some of the butterflies. You can see some of those butterflies there. If you could catch some of those, they might make a tasty meal. But for now, I so far haven't resorted to catching one or expending my energy chasing them. Sometimes you spend as much energy sometimes chasing those as you get from eating them, so it's sometimes not worth it. I see down there's a kind of a fat, lazy bumblebee going around, but yeah, those can be dangerous. So, all right, we've made our way all the way to the summit of Mount Iceland, and looking over, we can see there's that vast plain of the Serengeti out there, and back beyond it you can see in the far distance Lake Moraine and the battlefield down there. So it's quite the hike back to get to our camp. We're gonna have to cross all that vast Serengeti. I think our best plan right now, if we walk forward, we can kind of see where we're coming at. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can come down, and if we come down on the other side of the back of the fort, there's a little pedestrian gate, and it'll take us, I believe, over towards that North Gate Road. And I think we can get there down that road there, and we'll travel down, I don't know, Brewer's Road or Chandler's Road or one of those roads, and we'll find our way back to our camp, which is down on the far side of the Serengeti. You can almost see it from here. I could probably pick it out if I looked real hard. Yeah, I can see it. It would be hard to describe where it is. Well, we've come back off of Mount Iceland behind us, and you can see it back behind me here with a big 39 on it. And where we are now, we're coming down to the flatter ground. We're over at the back of the fortress here, and you can see why this was such a dangerous area before, because a lot of those heavy fighters, they can congregate back here and they can hide, and then they could come springing out at no notice, at any moment, and can be very dangerous because of that. So, but on this side we can see there's nothing back here, so it's fairly safe. We're going to continue on. If you look ahead, right there we can see there's the pedestrian gate. I think we're going to make it in pretty short order, so things are looking good so far. Looking up at the sky though, I'm not sure I I like all of this because it's getting a little gray. Sometimes the weather out here can turn in an instant, and what was a nice sunny day will suddenly become a downpour. So I think we're going to move on now out of here and hopefully get home before one of those downpours happens. All right, we're up here inside the tower at the turret at the top of the gate of the castle, and just thought we'd come up here and give you a look before we came off of here and into the Serengeti. You can see, you can get quite an interesting view from up here. As you come around, you can look out the different crenellations, catch a view of the battlefield. Down here we have some lower works that you can see. Have a clear view of anybody approaching the gate. Now we're going to walk out here. We're going to step down. I got to be careful. And cross over here, and we're into the top of the gate. You can look down there. There's quite a ways down there if you're looking down. You wouldn't want to fall off of the castle here. And on the back side, you can see it comes over the gate as well. Quite a drop down in there. I know at one point in one of the battles I was standing right about here and trying to spear people coming through the gate on the bottom. And as we come around, we'll take a trip through the lower parapets. And again, you can see we have some fairly wide crenellations. And here we are again at the gate. You can look down in and see what it's like coming through the gate. And there's a big battle here in this gate. It's really piled up with bodies. I hear some sounds over on the side, and that might be some sort of heavy fighters. Why, yes, it is. There they are. Remember, you have to be very, very careful about those heavy fighters. They can be very dangerous if you get too close. Luckily for us, we're inside the fortress and quite a ways away. All right. Well, that's the tour of the parapets and of the fortress. So we're going to head on out and get back onto our trip across the Serengeti. I think that we'll be able to make it without too much trouble and without taking too much time. You can see right out there, we're almost there at the Serengeti. It's just past the fortress here, so we should be home without too much trouble. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hey, fun.
I'm filming Survivor Man, the Serengeti.
Oh, okay.
An example of some of the dangers of the Serengeti here. This is one of those abandoned, one of those watering holes I talked about. But as you can see the sign, abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Oops, too late. You don't get the warning until you've already fallen into the trap. So there you go. That is our trap. We're going to say goodbye to House 3 Bears here and travel back on and down the Serengeti. A lot of traffic here today on the Serengeti. We're coming across an area here on the Serengeti, very dangerous area. There appears to be pirates here. You have to be careful sometimes in the Serengeti. There are pirates and gypsies and other sorts of characters like that. You never know who you're going to run into, so you have to be a little careful. So here we go. We're traveling across the Serengeti. We're making our way all the way down, looking for some sort of food resource. At the bottom end of the Serengeti camping area, and we're into the dangerous area where there are merchants who will steal many of your resources from you. So you have to be very careful in this area. You can be stripped of all the resources you brought with you. So just keep out of the way of any of these merchants because they're a very dangerous crew. We'll travel through here. We're almost to the end of our journey. We're almost to the end of the Serengeti. coming down through. I think I see a place where we can find some good food resources up ahead. On out there, see if we can't find some food resources. Track down some food. We seem to be entering an area of abundant Pennsic food resources now. Off in this area, there are many food resources that a survivor can try to look for as they're traveling across the Serengeti. And we're going to see if we can't find some of those food resources ourselves now. So see what we can chase down. It's time to take a look now in the pouch and see what we have here available here on Survivor Man. And let's take a look here. It looks like I've got a cord here of some sort. You know, I think that that's supposed to be for the camera, but you know, what else have we got? We've got some nitroglycerin and breath spray. Let me see, what else do we have? We have some pieces of round metal. That might be useful to us out here. And look here I've got a folder. It's got in it pieces of paper, and maybe some of these pieces of paper I can turn into a food resource somehow out here in the Serengeti, so that we can find a way to survive here. You know, in case the weather turns bad, of course we have our shelter that we've set up earlier, and we'll be all set here. What else do I have? I have a pocket knife. That'll always prove to be useful sometime. And nail clipper, fire. I have fire. That's always useful here at Pennsic, and a cell phone. That's not as useful, but we might be able to use it for something. Maybe I could use it to find my square. So that's our resources that we have here. So I'm going to see if I can't turn some of these paper bits of resource into some sort of food, and get my caloric intake up so that we can make our way the rest of the way across the Serengeti before nightfall. Might be taking a terrible turn here. You can see the dark clouds over there on the horizons. That sometimes can be very bad weather here at Pennsic. So I think even though there's very rich resources for food here that we can find, we're going to have to move on and try to get back to camp before this storm breaks and it washes us out. It's late at night now. The sun's gone down. We're out on the Serengeti. I've managed to get the fire going for the night, and you can see here we have a nice warm fire. The night's going to be clear tonight, and so the temperature's going to drop right down. I managed to find this banana, and I can eat that, and that'll keep my my energy up a little bit, so I can make it through the extremely cold night here on the Serengeti.